November is coming up, and that means, yes, we can start looking at the top PlayStation 5 games upcoming every month. What a surreal moment that this is. We are headed into a new generation, and it's pretty cool to be at this point. Now, obviously, even heading into a new generation, there are going to be a lot of cross-generational titles that are going to be released, so you always have to bear that in mind. We're going to have games that are designed for the PS5 only, then we're going to have games that are going to be on PS4 and PS5, so we've got a total of 14 games to go over, so let's get right into it. I want to kick it off with, without a doubt, the biggest PS5 game release of the month, at least in my opinion. Demon's Souls Remake is dropping November 12th, launch day of the PlayStation 5. Wow, long time coming for this one. People have wanted this for years. Demon's Souls obviously came out back in 2009, and now Souls is one of the most iconic franchises in all of gaming. But going back to 09, if you played Demon's Souls, you know that game is a little bit clunky, so to bring it up to speed into 2020, that's going to be fantastic. And who better to be at the helm of the remake than Bluepoint Studios, the guys that brought you the incredible Shadow of the Colossus remake. I trust them fully with this remake, and again, Demon's Souls is out November 12th. Alright, next up, here's a game that everybody that's getting a PlayStation 5 will have because it's going to be pre-installed to every PS5. That is Astro's Playroom. This is a game that when I initially heard about it, I thought it was going to be a smaller experience, and yes, it is a small experience, but it's still going to be like 4 hours long. There's 4 levels, and Astro is an IP that I feel like has a lot of potential. Obviously, you guys may have played Astrobot Rescue Mission, which was a PlayStation VR title. That was fantastic, and I expect something that's of relative quality here when we do get our PS5. Next up, we have Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. Now, I am super excited for this one. This is going to be Devil May Cry 5, the base game, but also a Virgil expansion, adding even more content to the initial Devil May Cry 5 experience. It's going to be budget price pointed at $40, and it is going to see some PlayStation 5 improvements as well. Devil May Cry 5 was a fantastic game in 2019. Now to get a beefed up version of the game and with additional content, it's going to be great. It's an awesome action title, great music, great gameplay, fast pace. Anybody can really enjoy Devil May Cry 5, and this will be out November 12th digitally. A physical release will be out later in the year. Next up, we have Godfall. This is a game that's going a little bit under the radar in terms of all of the major PlayStation 5 games. I don't see the level of excitement I see for Godfall for, say, Demon's Souls or some of the other titles, but Godfall looks pretty good. It's being done by a new studio in Counterplay Games, and I think they're going to do something of quality here. Maybe it's a formula that's been done a little bit much in gaming, that action looting style of gameplay, but Godfall visually looks great, and I hope it turns out pretty well when it does drop on PS5 November 12th, another launch game. Next up, we have Observer System Redux. This is a beefed up version of Observer, which released on the PlayStation 4. Maybe a game a lot of you guys are not all too familiar with, but a game that was really good. A great cyberpunk setting, and hey, Cyberpunk 2077 won't be out until later in November, so now might be a good time for you to, get into Observer, enjoy that cyberpunk world, and then get ready for Cyberpunk 2077 later in November. Next up, we have Destruction AllStars. This is a pretty interesting game coming from Lucid Games, a vehicular combat title, and when I initially saw this game, I was really looking at it, and I was like, man, this is reminding me a lot of Twisted Metal. Just when I think vehicular combat, Twisted Metal is always going to be there. Obviously, from a presentation standpoint, Twisted Metal is quite a bit darker. Lucid Games, not a very well-known studio at this stage of the game, but with this being a PlayStation 5 launch title, you know there's going to be an inherent level of interest in the game, just because PlayStation 5 new games that are PS5 exclusive are going to be initially a little bit limited, but Destruction AllStars really has potential to be one of the standout games. I hope that delivers when it does drop on launch day. Next up, we have Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. Of course, another major game. This will be a cross-generation title, but Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales is one I'm incredibly excited for. I think the PlayStation 5 version of the game is going to take advantage of a lot of the elements of the PS5, whether it be haptic feedback or some of the other visual elements that the PS5 version is going to be able to employ. It's not going to be as big as a standalone, let's say, Marvel Spider-Man game, but it is a standalone expansion, and you can still expect a decent amount of content. It's out launch day, $50, $70 for the Ultimate Edition, which will include Marvel Spider-Man Definitive Edition, so you can play the original game with PlayStation 5 improved aspects, so that will be great. Next up, we have another launch game, Sackboy, A Big Adventure. Another PS4, PS5 cross-gen title. Very excited for this one, man. Little Big Planet, or I should say Sackboy in particular, has been done a little bit dirty in terms of not being represented in a lot of games. I think it's an IP that resonates with a lot of people. I think a lot of people love Sackboy, and I'd like to see him in more games, and I hope Sumo Digital can deliver a quality game with Sackboy, A Big Adventure. What I'm seeing from trailers, what I'm seeing from a gameplay standpoint, I'm excited for it. It is going to be priced at $60, so not that $70 premier price point that PS5 games will be employing, given the fact it is a cross-gen title, but I'm just hoping it turns out well so Sackboy gets a little bit more love going forward for the rest of the PlayStation 5 generation. Some cool costumes in this one as well if you do decide to pre-order the game. Next up, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Does much more need to be said about Assassin's Creed Valhalla? You kind of know what you're getting into with AC at this stage of the game. I'm not big on AC Origins and AC Odyssey as I was in the previous AC titles. Find them to be a little bit grindy. I love the setting of Valhalla. I think that's got a lot of potential, and I really do want to remain optimistic about the game. I hope they deliver something of quality, and I know people that really did enjoy the previous two AC titles are going to find this one very, very enjoyable. Not at the top of my personal most anticipated list, but obviously a game that deserves a whole lot of mentions. Next up, we have Dirt 5. Dirt 5 is getting an upgrade to PlayStation 5. Dirt has always been a great off-road racing series. I mean, there's a reason why we're at the 5th iteration of Dirt. I mean, there's been more. We have like Dirt Rally and stuff like that, but you get the idea. Dirt 5, sure, it's going to be a great title if you're into having a racing game on launch day. That's definitely going to be a good one. Next up, we have Maneater. Maneater is probably the most zany game that I've read in quite a while. It has you experience the ultimate power fantasy as the apex predator of the seas. A giant shark terrorize the coastal waterways, tear swimmers and divers limb from limb, give the humans a reason to fear you. So yes, you literally play as a man-eating shark, and I find that to be pretty cool. We're getting a PlayStation 5 upgraded version come launch day, and I'm pretty excited for this one, just for the wackiness, the zaniness, and I'm pretty sure it's still going to be an enjoyable game all around. Next up, here's one that's not getting a ton of buzz at this point, but the Pathless is a game done by Giant Squid and published by Annapurna Interactive. They've published a lot of good stuff, and Giant Squid themselves, pretty talented studio over there. Action-adventure title played from a third-person viewpoint. In the game, you play as a hunter who must find a way to lift the curse on the island that you're at. The hunter is a master archer. She must use her bows and arrows to shoot talismans scattered throughout the world. So pretty interesting game. Visually, it looks fantastic, I have to say that. It is a cross-gen game. It's not going to be one of those big budget titles. However, really like the look of the game, and I'm hoping that it does end up delivering when it does drop. I think this is going to be one that surprised a lot of people. Next up, we got Watch Dogs Legion. Again, I don't think it's the best idea to drop two big-budget Ubisoft open-world games so close to one another. I just think that's not doing either game a service. However, Watch Dogs Legion was scheduled for earlier this year, so I understand why things did have to be shifted around. Nevertheless, I really enjoyed Watch Dogs 2, and I hope they can deliver something of quality with Watch Dogs Legion. I think there's a lot of potential in Watch Dogs as an IP. I know the first game wasn't everyone's cup of tea, and it really did dissipate a lot of the excitement that the first game initially had, but Watch Dogs Legion, hoping for something of quality here. I just do think from a commercial standpoint, it's gonna take a little bit of a hit because it was released so close to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I do see AC Valhalla getting the bulk of the attention, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Who knows? We'll see how it shakes out when the game does drop. Lastly, obviously, Call of Duty's back. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War will be dropping November 13th. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is going to be one that I think a lot of people will end up being excited for. I know Call of Duty at this stage of the game, it's either you're in or you're out. Call of Duty to me is one that I personally just look at how every game is, see how my friends feel about it, and with Black Ops Cold War, I do think the game looks pretty solid. It's Call of Duty, it's going to make an impact when it does drop, and it's out November 13th. But that's going to conclude this video. Again, we have a plethora of new games coming in November on the PlayStation 5. Some are cross-gen, some are exclusive for PS5, but all of them are great games nonetheless. We're going to be looking at PS4-only games as well in the near future, so be on the lookout for that. But that's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.